they have the part where Thanos goes to get the Reality Stone, and they don't actually show him get it, but then the Guardians of the Galaxy kind of arrive on the same planet,
Oh
the Collector's
man, this
planet, whatever that
shit
is.
is fucking wild.
It's so crazy. When they get there, at one point they make you believe that Gamora actually kills him, right? Like it looks like she gets a good hit on him and he dies. And I watched this movie in the theater. I'm hoping that most people also had that experience where you're kind of, you know, that he didn't die this early in. I mean, you're literally less than 40 minutes into the movie. There's no way fucking Thanos died this early. But I'm also thinking, well, we didn't see him get the Reality Stone yet. So does he already have it? And then lo and behold, he comes out and says reality is often disappointing. And I just love how the background of the like that area they're in starts to literally dissipate, and you can see it's on fire, it's destroyed. He fucking ransacked it, like the whole planet or whatever it is, like it's just destroyed. All around them is just destruction and fire, and he already has it. And it's to the point where he's about to kidnap Gamora,
Yep.
and it was a whole conversation about if Thanos ever comes for me,
You
kill
have to
me
kill me. She was saying
because
that to
this
Star Lord.
because there's information that I have in my head that he's going to need. And basically it's just the location of the soul stone. But you don't know that at the time. But she's saying like there's information that he's going to need. So you have to kill me, when a time comes. And you gotta promise that to me. And he obviously he does in the moment. But when it comes down to it, she's right there. Thanos almost has her. And he has his gun pointed towards, Thanos and Gamora, but he can't do it. And Thanos even says, "You expect too much of this kid." Like basically, like he can't do what's necessary, which is so cool because the whole character of Thanos is based on doing what is necessary, no matter what it is. Right? That's like his
That's
biggest
yeah.
defining. That's his defining characteristic in the MCU. This is not comic book Thanos, but this is like the MCU Thanos. He's all about being the person that will do the unthinkable to accomplish a goal that he believes is of the greater good, which is one of the reasons why I do like him so much in MCU. I think Thanos is so well written. I guess the only thing I don't like, and it's not about Thanos, it's more so about the way the writers made the Infinity Stones in MCU. So his whole thing is I want to balance the universe and cut half the population. And the reason he's doing that is because resources are finite and people are starving. There's not enough to go around. His planet suffered from this. He saw it. So he proposed an idea to his own planet of random genocide, as he calls it. And he calls it mercy. Now, I don't understand why the Infinity Stones can wipe out half of the universe's population with a snap, but they can't create more resources for people to have. And this is not a hot take. A lot of people have said this. Like, I've seen this everywhere. I
Yeah.
thought about it. A million other people probably have said the same thing online. But why the fuck do the Infinity Stones just not have the ability to create more resources, but they can take life that easy?
I think that there's no reason why they can't create resources. I'm sure they can. I just don't think that's in like because Thanos, he's a very driven person. He's had this plan since he's watched his planet get destroyed, right? Because before when this was happening to his planet, he didn't have access to the Infinity Stones. And he was like, look, it'll be fair. Like, we won't just do criminals. We won't just do the rich. Like, it'll just be random. And
Yep.
we'll wipe out half the population. And I think he's been so scarred and jaded through watching his planet fall and then watching what happened to the entire universe. By the time the Infinity Stones come into play for him, become like his plan is already his plan. And so when the Infinity Stones become a thing, when they become a thing he can obtain, they become a means to enact his plan. And I don't think he either A doesn't put much thought into creating more resources, or B he's already decided that like that's not the path he's going on. Like I think they for sure can create more, but I think Thanos he's already been set on this plan for the last 30 years or whatever. This is already his dream.
I guess my problem with that though is no one has to die. You can double the resources. So there's two ways. You can cut the population in half, or you can double the resources, and no one has to die.
Yeah.
I just feel it's strange to jump to genocide over duplicating resources.
The thing is, he was already genocidal before he got the
He
stones.
was.
So the stones just became a new weapon for him.
But here's the other thing. Thanos is also a genius. He's one of the smartest people in Marvel. And I don't want to nerf him by saying that he didn't think of just doubling the resources, because that almost seems unfair to him, I must say.
Yeah, I'm not saying like in a stupid way. I'm not saying like he's too like he didn't think of it that way. It's more so that his drive and ambition for so many years before the stones came into play was already this. So when he found out about the stones, it's like if he finds out about a genie in a lamp, his drive and ambition for so long has already been this. It's like now when he gets the genie in the lamp, he's like, okay, wipe out half the population. It's like more so that's already what's in his heart. And it's hard. It's probably hard to give up, because that's at this point it's become his dream. He's already given up so much for this. He's already killed so many people that it probably is too hard for him to let go of that dream.
It's scary to me to think of him that way. I'm gonna be honest, because that means that he is not willing to change after new information has been presented. So let's say what you're basically going at is he was already genocidal before knowing about the Infinity Stones, or before acquiring the Infinity Stones.
Yes.
But once you understand the Infinity Stones and how powerful they are, they can do all of these amazing things, right? Why do you not say, wow, I have this much power. I can now, instead of doing the plan that I originally had, everyone can still live. I can even fucking bring people back to life if I wanted to, but everyone can now live, and I can just create more resources so that way there still no hungry children. You know, people don't have to steal for things anymore. I mean, people will always, but that's not the point.
Yeah.
Like, people are not, they won't want for anything because of the power that I have to create these resources that are no longer finite. His whole thing was resources are finite. Everything is finite. And the Infinity Stones, literally, their word infinity is in their name, makes it where finite isn't really a thing.
I think there's another philosophical argument in addition to that. I think that also he's, like I said, he's already been jaded, right? He watched the collection of, I'm going to call it humanity, but when I say humanity, I mean all intelligent life in the universe.
Yes.
So he watched humanity already, in his opinion, make the wrong choice. He's seeing as year after year, there is more and more humanity. We continue to give birth. We continue to have more. And if he had just granted all of humanity the gift of double the resources, they wouldn't learn a lesson, because they didn't work for anything. Fair. Nothing bad happened.
I like that more.
And now they have double the resources, and they haven't learned anything. Whereas if he wipes out half of all of humanity in the universe, they've now been taught a lesson.
I will say this too, though. So I thought about the whole genocide, half the population randomly. Eventually, there will be this problem again, though, right? We're all aware that that is what will happen over time.
Yeah.
So my question becomes, are you prepared to do this again at some, I mean, he probably won't be alive when it happens again, because I assume it will take
several, it would take
thousands of years or something like that.
A time inconceivable to us humans.
Yes. But the idea that I'm saying is this is a temporary fix. It's not, and I guess that's my other problem with his plan to cut the population in half, is that it's not a permanent fix on the issue. It's kind of just a Band-Aid solution. Because at the end of the day,
that's why I think it's also the lesson. You know, who knows? We don't get the full explanation of his whole thought process, but that's why I think maybe there's that lesson as well. Like, now you know what needs to be done, and as you guys prosper and have all these extra resources in the future, remember this and blah blah blah.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So back to what we originally were saying about Star-Lord not being able to kill Gamora. He eventually does pull the trigger, though, and it's Bubbles, because Thanos has the fucking reality stone.
Yeah, but that part's cool, because Thanos is like, I like this kid, because he actually does pull through.
Yeah, he does. He likes that he pulled the trigger, even though nothing happens. And I think that the Guardians of the Galaxy at one point tried to attack Thanos too. He just turned them into fucking nothing. Like, they just became Legos. Like, they just all turned to Legos. They just all dropped and became blocks of Legos. And I was like, that's honestly, his power scaling is a bit inconsistent in the movie after seeing that scene so early, because the reality stone is wild, bro. Like,
after you get the stones, after you have the stones, one stone is already too much. At that, once you have 3 stones, like, you're already
the reality stone. You immediately can turn someone into Legos. He turned a gun into bubbles. It shot bubbles.
Yeah. Now, see, here's what I wonder though, because I agree with you saying it seems inconsistent. Through watching the movie, I started to get the feeling that the Reality Stone isn't actually warping reality. It's more just like doing genjutsus. Like it felt like, like it just felt like it was doing genjutsu because it didn't seem like it was really, warping reality. It just seemed like it was warping your perception of reality. Now I don't know if that's true because it doesn't seem clear, and it doesn't seem like.
Argument against that would be when he did pull the trigger on that blaster, and we've seen him use that blaster before.
Yeah,
like it did not fire. And
it didn't. But I think it's like like that could have happened. Like, you know, Naruto throws a kunai, and then like when it gets to Itachi, it's a cat. It's like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, it's like that was definitely a kunai, right? It's like, no, it's a cat. Like,
yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, I think
I do get what you're saying. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I have thought about that too. Like, what if the Reality Stone, and at least in MCU, it's not actually changing what is into something else. It's just warping people's perception. But I feel like we have enough evidence to say otherwise. I just feel like his battle on Titan with Doctor Strange using actual magic and then like it not work. And Doctor Strange is powerful as fuck, but that shit, Thanos with the Reality Stone was just like, this is all bullshit. and then when he turned them into Legos, and when he leaves, right? So he does take him more. He used the Space Stone a lot to teleport away, which that stone is also crazy. But he used the Space Stone, he leaves. And when he leaves, the people who he turned into nothing, their bodies start to like pick back up. So you could argue, like you could argue that they weren't actually diced up into little pieces. They just felt like they were. And then when he left, it kind of wore off, and they realized they were just regular, and they kind of stepped back up. But yeah, it is an interesting thought that the Reality Stone may not be doing that. I guess for me, because it's an Infinity Stone and because of how powerful. So let's be clear. We already mentioned that he did throw a moon at people. I mean, the Space Stone, he threw a fucking moon at them. I'm just gonna say that. Hey guys, if you like this clip, we have full video versions of our podcast episodes available on the IMNerd Patreon, as well as exclusive content.
If you'd like to listen to our full podcast episodes or find us on any other social media platforms, you can do so by clicking the link tree below.